Okay, here we go again. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. It feels like so much. I can't even tell. It feels like, fuck. But when it feels like the jar is too full. It's just too full. You open it and there's just too much stuff coming out. And it's so nuts. It's like how you just see these people. Like they're just so stuck, man. They just so keep talking about the same thing over and over and over. It's like, oh my gosh. Is that what your spirit is telling you to do? Or is that what your fear has got you wrapped up in? Because that's what it looks like. And, when I'm talking about my own spiritual stuff, I don't want it to come across as like I'm trying to brag or something. Because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm better because I can. Hold on, let me fix this. There. I haven't pushed it all the way. I feel like I'm bragging or something. Because that's not it. When I'm trying to say stuff, I'm trying to say it so you can see that it's possible. Like I'm just a regular person who is able to look at life differently, to communicate with the internal intelligence, but the universal intelligence, and it just was easy. Like I didn't have to try. Like all of you who are having to learn it and try it now, yeah, it's hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be work. And it's going to be frustrating for a lot of people. And it's a part of the process. Don't get all upset and frustrated. Don't think you have to have things right now. Don't think it all has to be like in the first 5 months of awakening. No, it is your process. It is what you're here to learn and to establish yourself. It isn't something you have to rush. And I think so many people, they want everything and they want it now. They want it right now. And it's like, you're skipping it all. You can't just skip it. You can't skip the healing and jump into the good part. The good part comes as you heal. The good part is an extension of the healing. It's like everything you heal has a gift afterwards. Everything that you release, there's something attached to it that is there for you to see, to receive, because you had it blocked. So it's a part of the process. It's not like you are doing anything wrong. I think so many people think like healing, oh my God, how tedious. Facing old dark things that I don't want to face. And especially, I mean, it's about to go hard on people's ego. And people just have no idea. Unless you've experienced an ego death or any of what they talk about, the dark night, if you have not experienced it, then you don't know how traumatic it really is to face yourself. And we're about to go through that with a lot of people. It was so crazy. Yesterday, I saw a video, and it was like the guy, he was saying something like, I just can't believe I didn't see it. I just can't believe I didn't see it. Like, oh, what? And it was something so minute. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be insane when these people really see what they have not seen and what they were willing to dedicate their fucking energy and life and love and sympathy and empathy. What they were directing it towards was the beast. I don't know what else to call it. And so, it's going to be rough when these people really start understanding. And I've got a lot of them in my family, but I think, like I've said for a while, I think that this slow opening of one's eyes is kind of prepares them for what's to come. And then, if you're anything like me and you're constantly saying stuff, they've got so many seeds planted So, I hope it's going to be like a gentle kind of thing, but it's not, it has nothing to do with me. Yesterday, I had there's constant, like this has been going on for me for a long ass time. It's so funny too. Because when I very first started my journey, it was on my own. I was, I had a brain injury. I had, my fourth marriage ending. I was a total relationship junkie. I was a total alcoholic, or not alcoholic, workaholic. Alcoholism's not ever been my thing. But workaholism, I've definitely drank too much, don't get me wrong, but I don't have any problem stopping drinking. I don't have a problem with alcohol. But working, it was like, I like working. I like doing something. I like, so, and there was always the benefit of getting all this money. So I had money to spend. So, what was I going to say about that? But when I went, because when I started my journey, everything had fallen apart, and I had to go into my, the dark night, and it was so fucking hard. And it was like all of nature was participating in mine. It was a hard, dark winter. It was so fucking cold. It was just never stopped snowing. Nobody could even come and take me to the store or anything. And it was just like, it was mental. I couldn't drive then. Like I was in way worse shape. Like if you even started watching me in the beginning, then it was a part of my journey to independence, to get out on the road. They wanted me in a nursing home. They didn't want me driving. They wanted me to stop living. And I didn't want to. And I kept going. And I kept pushing myself, even when people would, gasp and tell me, no, God, you're so crazy. All the time. That's just been my life. And so, I know as I've watched people going through what has been going on the planet, I have seen, that so many people are so down on themselves, so insecure. It feels like we were all living the same way. Nobody was, there's some people. Look, I just saw this one lady, and somebody had said, I don't even know who you are. And so she was giving them the lowdown. It was so much, I'm a 2-book winning author, and I have $30 million, and I have 3 million. And it was just all this money. And I was like, I'll tell you who you are. You're a very three-dimensional thinker. You're very three-dimensionally trapped. What does any of that matter? Does any of that matter? I don't know. Not to me. So, we all have our own things, We're all here learning our own things. And, maybe I'm going to learn that matters. I don't know. I'm open. I'm open to what I'm here to learn. And it's so crazy. Oh, yeah, because let me finish that story. So when I was going through that, and I was really on my own, and then I started, going and seeking spiritual guidance. I started going out and looking, what's going on. And, I was already seeing the sky was off, the ground, everything. It was weird. I was already going through all that stuff in 2016. So you can imagine what a lonely journey that was, right? Because, there's people going through it right now and people are laughing at them. So you can imagine, it was definitely starting then with your awakening was very isolating. You did not have people understood what you were going through. And so, looking on YouTube and trying to find people and finding information. And then I got involved with that other group with the Reiki and the meditation. Like they've all these different ones have come into my path. That's what I'm saying, that the stuff, when you open yourself up, the things come to you. You don't have to do much. You just have to direct your energy and it comes to you. And so I was already, getting involved in all this spiritual stuff where my kids started saying that I joined a cult and, everything. They just always look at me through these shaded lenses, like that I'm just a reject in society. It's no wonder they even have any self-esteem because they got this reject, weirdo, crazy mom. Now I'm always trying to build it up as like, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be crazy. It's a good thing to have a crazy grandma. It's a good thing, like, why wouldn't you want one? And every fucking kid is lucky if they get a crazy grandma. Like, fuck. Who wants to have just a regular grandma when you can have a crazy grandma? So I, it was, a lot by myself. Then, like I said, 11, 11, 17 was my big trigger time when this other soul entered into this entanglement began that I did not understand at all. And all I knew is I just needed to talk to this person. It just was the weirdest thing. It was like this recognition, but this deep need. I've got to talk to them. I've got to talk to them. But then it was like, there was no way to talk to them. My hands were tied. And so then, you're asking, your guide's like, what's this all about? And what am I supposed to do here? Well, what you're supposed to do is blah, 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 do this, do this. And so they just keep getting you to work on you the whole time. And then that's where they would tell me, don't you worry your pretty little head about this. No, they come just like all other energies. You don't have to do anything but work on you. It comes to you. And so I was like, okay. And then, but the things that they wanted me to work on was a lot of challenges, man. I mean, just starting the YouTube thing, that was, that took me a while because I had started to try and do it in I think it was I think I figured it out before the other date. I think it was around 2018 or 2019. No, because I lived here in 2019. So it was around 2017. No, it was the beginning of it was after that part. But anyways, so, but still, I was on social media. I was back when I was on Twitter. And this girl started questioning me and asking me about this other person. And I was like, how weird is this? And so then they started asking me to join this group thing. So I went in and joined this group. And this was all these girls and talking about healing and stuff like that. And this one, she was like, well, you've been healing a really long time. You probably have a lot of healing to do. And I'm just thinking about like how ignorant we were back then. The healing doesn't stop. It's not like you get to the end and you're like, oh, I did it all. I'm finished. Oh, I'm so excited. That's not how it goes. It's a new approach to life. It is, you still have things happen. It's how you approach it. It's how you see it. It's how you dissolve your issues. It's a different way of living. And so it's not like you reach a point of peace in yourself. That's the goal. That's the aim, is finding this peace in yourself. And it was just funny because how she was thinking, like I had so much to heal, so it probably was going to take me longer. And it was like, I don't think she had any idea, because I remember there was some other times that she had come into some traumas, that brought up some stuff, and she was just like, man, I already healed. What in the hell is going on? And it's like, because the healing does not end. And anything where you're healing, you're not just healing shit from here. Like, people have really got to get it in their heads. Like, you're a soul. This living life thing that you're experiencing is just one tiny little fractal of the diamond. You're trying to figure out what's going on in the diamond, not just what's going on in this one little experience. Each experience gives you opportunity. And so each life is a living experience opportunity. It's a living opportunity to experience. So it's not just, there is no like quick fix. There is no jumping over a few steps to get to the end. The end is eternal. The end just keeps going. Where are you rushing to? Where are you trying to get? Why are you in such a hurry? You're not in the here and now if you're in a hurry. The here and now is every opportunity for you to face yourself. They've set up. It's set up. The game's set up. It's all right in front of you. And it is crazy too, is like the one daughter, you know, who she is, and she is, I mean, I know she is spiritual, but she is, because she's got that inside of her where, you know, it's a questioning curiosity. And so she'll ask me things and stuff. So, you know, and she's been asking me more things and stuff. But, you know, she's still, you know, I'm this weird, crazy mom that has a brain injury, you know, like, you know, oh, my mom's a little weird. But, you know, so, you know, they don't know that they can trust me or, you know, and nobody's supposed to. You're not supposed to just be like, well, everybody needs to trust me. I've got the end. No, everybody's got to find their own end because, like I've said, most of what they tell me is my personal stuff, my personal journey. Everybody needs that. Everybody needs their personal coach. They're telling them what to do. You've got to fucking learn how to listen. And this lady, I just saw this video and she was talking about the pressure in her ears and the popping and stuff. And she said she went and bought this barometer or something to try and understand what was going on with the pressure. And yeah, things aren't matching. She said nothing is right. It's all off, you know. And like the pressure will show that it's supposed to be sunny, but then it's cold and overcast and stuff. So I don't understand how all that stuff works, but I know everything's off. And I know everything that you try and get to measure anything, everything is just off. This reality is falling apart and was always fake. There's nothing that was real about it. And so, and one thing too is like yesterday we were having some, you know, we got this big, I'm going to be leaving in a little while. And tomorrow I won't be here. And then the next day, but then the next day I'll be back. So it's just, unless, you know, it's way too fucked out there sleeping on the ground, then I'll be back sooner. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't been camping in a long time, but it's going to be really fun because it's a huge group. And so it's going to be a fun thing. And plus the place is just so cool. All these people on the it looks kind of like a river, I guess, with all the tents and stuff. It just reminds me of this totally tribe, like, and then I'm excited, like, well, it's supposed to be big stuff may happen today. It's like, well, if that's what goes down, I guess I'm going to be with most of my family on the side of a river for a week or two. I don't know. We'll see. Because they're sure saying, like, boy, this could be it. With a T-Dog and it's so crazy too where you see these people and they're just like well, you know, I know I really did like him and you know I'm looking into it and stuff. It's like, come on, people. Jesus Christ. Oh my Lord. Does anybody know what is going on in this world? It's like crazy. So anyways, but then you see like the news thing. Oh, this is going perfectly into his hands because now he gets to go to court and they have to show everything. They have to show everything because now so now he gets access to all the records. Well, that's what they've been saying since goddamn 2020 that they wanted. They wanted this to happen. And now look, we're finally, finally, he's arrested so we can get. It's not called disclosure. It's called something like that, though, funny enough. is something like that, legal term, so that you get all of your stuff. So, and it's so absurd. We're going to arrest him. He keeps saying that he really won, and all this bullshit. It's like, oh my God. And then I can't believe his supporters who just turn around. Well, I thought he was a good guy. He really tricked me with his narcissism. It's like, are you for real? Are you for real? Like, what in the holy hell with you people? So, however long it's going to drag out, I mean, now they're like, well, really, I don't think Joe's going to be the candidate for 2024. The fucking guy's been dead for a couple years, so I fucking hope not. And just the fact that they just keep pushing on this 2024, 2024, 2024, it's just like, fuck off with this shit. Like, fuck off. And then, and then you see that now, the way this shit drags, it's like, come on. Like, fuck. It just makes you just see, like, are fucking Americans the most fragile people in the whole goddamn world? Like, seriously. So now with the financial, so we've already, the petrol dollar was off, we had no value. No, we can't have our dollar go to other countries because it has no value. Now the next step is we have, we're no good for credit anymore. Well, we're no good. Nobody's going to loan us money anymore. It's like, oh my God. And the way they'll talk about it, and they'll talk so serious about it. It's like, oh my God, what in the hell? What in the hell? Am I the only person who sees this shit? Is there only like 5 of us? What in the fucking hell is going on with these people? It is so weird. Yesterday, like last night, I was like, okay, this is totally a movie. Like hearing people talk and watching them and watching their reactions and stuff. It was like, they're all oblivious. It is like a movie watching these people just be oblivious and have to play their part, I guess. I don't know. It's the weirdest fucking thing. And, and it's strange. Oh, I got to say this real quick because I left this off last night with, I know I told this story before a long while ago, but, or St. Bernard, it had gone through, because when we lived in that big house, we had like a forest around us. And then there's another house behind this other forest. And so our St. Bernard apparently went through there and went into another person's yard, grabbed their little dog, like a Lhasa Apso, Shih Tzu kind of dog or something, grabbed it by the neck, shook it, and killed it. And then, so we had to, our St. Bernard had to go somewhere, supposedly. Like, I don't know what they used to do back then. Nowadays, they just put them to sleep. Euthanasia, that's their favorite, because they got to get some fucking bacon. I said that to my kids the other day. I was like, so all those dogs, they put them all to death in the humane style all day long. Wonder where all that meat goes. Wonder if it's fried up a little bacon. That's fucking bullshit. I can't believe people don't understand what the hell they're eating. Okay, so anyways, but then our dog had to go, but there was a whole thing about, I remember them talking about the dog being out. Like, I was still a kid. And I was thinking about yesterday too. It was like back in the times where there was so many kids who had like some of their people's traumatic experiences was like a parent dying and not even being able to go to the funeral. Like, times were so different, women were treated like they were fragile. Kids were treated like they were, like people treat dogs now, like that they don't have much sense. Like, they did not ever think like, we're adult souls living in these bodies. No. For a long, long while, people acted like the souls that came out in babies were just empty slates that had to be trained or something. It's taken a long time. I don't even think still some people realize, no, you've got a fucking advanced soul coming out your vagina who needs to have a fucking experience. And you're a part of it. It is not a fucking, this little blank slate that's coming out like, what do I do? Oh, it just has to have time to get used to the environment. It's in a spacesuit. And And you know what? One thing too is, because like when I'm talking to people, like I can see stuff. I can see stuff. I've been able to see it for so long. And I can see like their problems or whatever. I can see like sometimes like what someone needs to work on. Like I can just see it. And and it's the people who are close to me, of course. So that's just annoying for your mom to tell you what you need to work on. But, so I can't go around telling them. I think I spent a lot of time before doing that and just having them be irritated. And that's why I had to learn is like their fucking soul is as smart as my soul. They'll figure it out. I figured my shit out. So I got to let it go and let them go through their experience and not, you know, but I have to also set boundaries. Yesterday I had to, because my one daughter who, wants to, I think she wants to really be more soulful. Like she wants to understand that side of herself. She's really interested more in it because she asks me questions and stuff. And yesterday I was seeing like she was just getting triggered. And I have known for a while, that she has a lot of stuff that she's hiding from or distracting herself from. Like there's things that come up and, she doesn't want to face them. And so you'll see a lot of people, things will come up and they just still think, well, if that person wouldn't do that, this wouldn't make me feel this way. But you got to go back from that. They did that so you could feel this way. So you could get to the core of why you feel this way so you could release it. And I don't know, maybe just her talking about some of this stuff was helping her release it, I don't know. But it did make me have to set my own boundary and just be like, okay, well, I'm done talking about it. This has nothing to do with me. And, really seeing that, when someone else is going through something, you don't have to because you'll see it's like turmoil to your energy, and it's like, this is yours to figure out. This is yours to go through. This isn't mine. Yeah, I can listen to you vent for a minute, but I can't get all caught up in it. And everything, that I would say it was the wrong thing. It didn't matter what I said. So I was like, okay, I'm trying to show support and it's the wrong thing because she's working through her own thing. It has nothing to do with me. So, I just got to be like, okay, this is yours. And let it go and and things have to play out. Like it's just getting started, some of the things that she has to purge out. She may have a big purging this weekend. There's supposed to be a big thing about 8/8. Like there's always these portals, these lions gates, all this shit. I guess this big full moon, like there's all this stuff going on that would be affecting our energy and stuff. But one of the things, that has been told to me for so long, in every, like a palm reader, a psychic, like all these different people, like even at the nail salon, I was sitting there getting my nails done one time and this, little old, Oriental woman came up and picked up my hand and started reading my palm and started saying, and it's always the same that I get told. And before, you think about some of the stuff being told way before this happening. Like, I had no idea, what, because they were always telling me I was going to be like this well-known, sought-after spiritual guide kind of person. And they would all word it but it was always the same thing. It was going to be a well-known, sought-after, this spiritual person guiding people or something. It was always like that. And I would always be like, what in the hell is that all about? Like, am I going to be like this little old lady sitting on my porch and people are going to come and ask me to tell them something? Am I going to be blind? I would sit there and think especially when I started losing my sight. And I was just like, man, I don't know what it all is about or anything. Now, as we've been going through this, now I see more. But like I didn't know that other people didn't have the same communication, or everybody has got the communication. They've just got blocks. They block it. They don't have good access because of the noise, the noise in their head, the distractions, the it's misdirecting of energy, because everybody's got it. It just depends on how quiet it is and how practiced you are in your discernment. And there are some tricky ones out there. There's some tricky energies out there that can make you feel like they are of the light because they're protecting you, or, something like that. But they isn't like devils, like all these people, like devils and demons and stuff. It's not like that. It is, but the energy that they want to keep you in is very self-involved. It's a self. And that is, that's of the dark. So, it's weird because there's so many different things going on. Because like these different kind of, these bubbles of energy or something, they're all around, like that people are creating for themselves. Like it's really trippy. I was telling my daughter this yesterday because I was talking to her a lot. I was talking to all of them, I guess. Well, except for the one that's not talking to me. But I would be talking about something. She'd go, well, what do you mean? And that's why I said, like, it seems like she's asking me more things and listening to what I say. But a lot of times it's just like, okay, where, that is, but the last time, what was that? It was our last week, I guess. Fuck, I'm just lost in time. But when I said, I've said it a few times, just because you don't understand something I talk about doesn't mean it's not real. Like, I've been doing this a long ass time. People who are just waking up to their spirit don't get. There's some of us who have been a part of that world our whole lives. It's not been something that I ever went away from. I have always been in reflection. I've always been in communication. They do have times where it's radio silence, where you are learning, you're experiencing. They have to allow you to experience. Your soul wrote this out for you, and they can't interfere, and they can't stop bad things from happening. You want the bad things to happen because you can overcome challenges, and that's what you're showing yourself. And so when I was talking to her yesterday, and I was saying something about this going around, and I was saying it's so strange because going around, and it's like I'm going into like these frequency bubbles or something. Like everybody's at a different vibration in their homes or whatever. And I'm like, and then even when you go out on the roads and stuff, to go from place to place, it is their own frequency, its own reality. Each drive is its own thing. It's like you're going from space bubble to space bubble. And she said, oh yeah, I realized that a long while ago, I think, because she's been going through her own awakening. And when I did her past life thing, her guides said, we need her to listen to us. She won't listen to us. And I told her, and then it's funny too, because I was doing another one of those QHHTs on another girl who was a medium, and she was talking to all these dead relatives during hers, just like her mom did. It was so trippy. And so the dead relatives knew my daughter, and they said it too. And so I told her, everybody keeps saying you're not listening to your guides. That's ego. You're sowing your ego. But that's her battle. But And she already had the house fire. She's had a lot of loss, a lot of things. So those all come to Jesus moments are all to help you. But so during some of hers, back a while ago, is she had when she was trying to come into, because she got pregnant and married at such a young age and had kids and stuff, and the relationship was really toxic, and he's really struggling now, like, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. And so when she left that relationship, she was like such extreme insecurity. It was like she had such anxiety. She couldn't, like, there was a period of time she couldn't even go out of the house. It would give her so much anxiety. She really went through a hard time when all of that was going down. And it was really, really hard for her. And she said that she realized during that it was everything had its own frequency. Every place had its own thing going on. And she said, I realized it was like everything was linked together. It was like, what was the word she said? Like chained together or linked together. All just either moments that you don't want to end or moments that you just want to hurry and get through. And I was like, that is a really good, and I remember her saying that way back then, but like I said, everything will impact you differently. Like I heard let go, let God fucking 200 zillion times. But then all of a sudden one day it was like, oh, let go and let God. Just let go. Just let go of shit. Just go with the flow. Let it happen. Nothing can happen that will hurt you. Even if you think that getting hurt or pain or suffering or death or any of that is real, it's not real. It is, it's part of the experience. It's part of the learning. And so, but it is, exactly that, what I keep talking about. It is these just moments in time, moments where you're working this out, moments where you're having this, moments where you're having fun. I was going to say fulfilling something, but that is true, where you are fulfilling, a purpose, something you're doing. So it is all captured moments. And that's why it's so important to be in the here and now, because if you're not, you miss out on so many moments. And if you're not in the here and now, then you miss out on so many opportunities. Because every day, well, I can't say every day because I don't know every single person's life, but you always will have things that will cross your path to help you, people, experiences to cross your path to help you reach your goal of what you're here to experience. And and so if you are just constantly in your head and not in the moment, then you're going to miss out on all of those opportunities. And being in your head is like an empty kind of like all the visual things, like running in water and not getting anywhere. It's like it's heavy and it's hard, but you're not getting anywhere. Yeah, it is like I know I hurt my daughter's feelings saying that. This isn't my problem, and I'm done talking about it. But those are the kinds of things that we need to say to people so that they have, it isn't like you're trying to hurt their feelings, but they need to face that side. They need to know. It just reminds me of like back when I was younger and my sister hurt my feelings so much, but it was something I really needed to hear is stop whining and do something about it. Like, I don't want to listen to you whine all the time about it. If you don't like it, do something. I was like, I got mad at her. That's for sure. Like, God, you rude bitch. We've always had that. We've never been that kind of sisters. We've always been very different from each other, living totally different lifestyles. Like she was out, sleeping around and partying and stuff while I was being a mom. And, and then she became a mom later in life where I was like, I'm doing my thing. And so we've just never been in sync. But, that is for a purpose too. Everything is for a reason, and sometimes it's so you're not so comfortable, you're not supposed to be comfortable. You're supposed to be uncomfortable. Like all the things I was supposed to go through was for me to learn because of something, apparently, that's when, all this stuff started going together. Like I thought it was going to be me writing a book and talking about those stuff, and then, people wanting to talk to me or something. It's like, because no matter when they tell you something, you still don't know. I still don't know. I don't know what to expect. I know something's coming. I know something's going to happen. I know way more people are going to hear what I have to say. And I know that you guys have been a gift for me. Oh, it's going to get me emotional. Hold on. Because you guys have. Because you guys have given me like support and companionship, even though it's like on here. I look forward to talking to you guys. And you guys have, I don't know, you've just given me a space to find myself. And I just appreciate it. And then, it has helped me build my security in myself. It's helped me to understand myself and, putting myself out there and, risking looking foolish and having y'all's response towards me. Like if I had some mean stuff, like I've had some people say mean things, but I also know that, when people are saying mean things, that is, they're stuck in meanness still. They haven't even gotten past that part yet. That doesn't mean that but yeah, there's something else. Like it's like you guys have given me, I don't know, they keep saying practice really loud. Like it has been like me practicing talking and saying and even this channeling, like listening and, like that's the whole thing. I can see why some of them like have to go lay and cover their eyes and really concentrate and stuff like that and focus. But like you guys have given me such a space to find myself, and you guys have all been a part of it. And so like, I don't know where it's all going to, but I definitely have so much appreciation for you guys, especially the ones who, like Vortex, who's been with me for a long time. And I know I've had some people who were there in the beginning who left, and, I don't know if they've ever come back or stopped by or anything, but they still gave me a lot of support. Mr. Wolf gave me a lot of support in the beginning. Me 23 gives me support all day long. Like there's people, Donna, like all of you guys, so many, CC, like all of you guys are all just, beautiful spirits. And I just feel so fortunate to have interacted with you all. And, I don't know what all is going to go down or how it's going to happen or whatever. But, they've definitely told me, what my purpose is. And so, we'll see. If it's going to be doing this kind of thing on just a bigger scale, if it's going to be more personally helping people. And it's weird because, like, I can see things with around me for people, but I don't know, like, if I was just sitting there with a stranger, would I be able to see all of their stuff? Would I be able to help them? Like, I don't know. I mean, that's what they've been telling me for a long time that I'm here to do. So, I know all of this is all part of it leading into something. It's just so crazy because you don't know what you're being led into fully. Like, and that is where, you got to trust your guidance. You got to trust when they're telling you things, even if it sounds crazy and you don't understand. And you're like, well, how would I ever do that? And they're telling you you're going to be the mayor of this new community you're a part of. You're like, well, how in the hell would that ever happen? I'm not even into politics. I don't want that. You just don't know. You don't know who you're going to come across. You don't know who you're going to interact with. You don't know what your ideas are going to bring. You don't know how much other people are going to look up to you. You don't know how much other people are going to want to talk to you to find out what you know. Like, so no matter what kind of far out things that you are being led towards, don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt this new future we're going into, because it's going to be way different. It's going to be way different than what we've been leading or living, these lives that we've been leading and living. It's going to be a dramatic switch. And, you know, it is very curious. Oh, what was that too? It was something like, there's all this stuff about the church and stuff going, you know, all these different things are all going to be blowing up. It's just like, fuck, it's so slow. Government, the church, the medical, every single thing that has been a part of our existence, because we're moving into independence. We can heal ourselves. We can try, everything is from within, but they've got us thinking that we need them from without. And we don't need them. That's why they need you to feel insecure about yourself and to be distracted and not be tuned into yourself. Because when you're tuned into yourself, then you're like me, and you're like, I don't need you. I don't need any of this shit. I don't need your fucking $30 million. Big fucking deal. Like, what? So I can sit there and stress out I might lose it. So I can have everybody who knows me, you know, what division does that cause? You know, I just want to live. I just want to live my life. I want to be happy and be free. I want to spend time with people I love. I want to spend time, you know, going around and visiting places, seeing how other people live, getting to have all sorts of experiences. Like, it sounds so much more interesting to me, you know, to go around to different places and stay in, like, when one of my lawyers, she had come over to my house. It's so strange, man. It's really strange for me to, like, even put my mind around that, what a criminal she is. And, but, you know, I mean, it goes with the fucking territory, so, but, and she still hasn't given me back my art. And it really, really pisses me off, like, because that was all pre-brain injury. And, you know, but I guess it's more important to her. Fucking, but it's just weird is like, I mean, just she had come and driven, like I had driven in her car to Seattle, stayed at a hotel with her, went out to dinner with her, got all this testing, came back. You know, I've had so many conversations with her. That one day that she was sitting in my house for a long time talking to me and talking about traveling, and I was, you know, talking about my trips, and she was talking about, you know, when she went to Peru, I think it was Peru, and she was telling me about, like, the cool, how they, the agriculture goes up the side of the mountain and stuff, but she was saying about, you know, when you go, you're supposed to take, like, little things, like hairbrushes, pencil, things that they don't have, that you can give them, and it's like a bartering, trading, and then people have you come and stay with them, have dinner with them and stuff like that. See, I think that is cool, to get to really experience other people, other ways of life, other ways of seeing things, other ways of just living. One thing, like, she said that was like, ugh. But like in there, because it's way more of like dirt kind of floors and stuff, like, it's so weird how people in America think, oh, well, you need this. Yeah, well, you got to have the marble countertops. How would you live without them? It's like, okay. But, you know, in their kitchens, I think it's like a little fire pit, and they got a little corral over here with guinea pigs. And when it's dinner time, they just go grab a guinea pig and knock it on the head and cook it. It's like, I don't think I want to eat guinea pig. There's a lot of things I don't want to eat. Lots of things I don't want to eat. I don't know why. I can stick with vegetables, and I can eat leaves and grass. I just don't want to eat other little animals. And then plus I know that we're getting to this point of realizing we don't need to eat. That was part of the illusion. That was part of the keeping us going with the flesh and blood. Well, you got to eat. You got to eat 3 times a day, probably some snacks. You got to have your milk. You got to, it's like, no, all that stuff was to make us sick. And so when we get to that point of, realizing, fuck, I'm internal. This is all fucking matter, atoms. Atoms dissipate when the frequency goes up. You have to have the low frequency to make the atoms form. So when we move up, the flesh and blood doesn't splatter. It just goes into a new form. So therefore, this form isn't real. So therefore, if this form isn't real and I feel real, it's the realness is inside of me. This has got like a little plug-in, so I have sensors, like a spacesuit, so I can feel my environment. So I go up and I don't burn my hand off, just sizzle it off, because I feel sensors, I feel heat. So it's like, ouch. So we have sensors, but that isn't, the body's not real. The reason you feel real is because you're real. They can't do anything to stop that realness. When you tune into that realness, the realness that you are, then you start going, okay, so if I'm real and I'm just light, then I should be able to have more control. Why do I need to eat? I don't need to eat. Does my body even need to eat? Does it? I don't know. I think it does if we think it does. Everything is like, we think we get cut, so we think there's a cut. And all these things. Like, what was that? I just saw, there's going to be so many weird things. I just saw a fucking cool as shit motorcycle jumper. And I don't know, maybe they do this all the time, but whoever was sharing the video was like, what? And it was a motorcycle jumper, and he came off the motorcycle. He was like a fucking rocket, like the motorcycle is going in this giant jump, like Evel Knievel. He comes off of it. He is like fucking like this. Just his energy. And then he gets back on it and fucking goes. It was fucking cool as shit. And it's just like, fuck. Like when people start understanding, I am telling you, because what was this other one? It was something, they cut somebody open, and something, I don't know if it was like something was in the wrong place. It was some weird thing. I was like, there's going to be more of that. There's going to be more. I think there's going to be more of people like getting hurt, like in front of people, like like really getting hurt. And like I said, like a big slash. And then they're, just like fucking in the movies, it's just going to go. And I think we're going to see some fucking cool ass shit as stuff goes on. And, it is more of you realizing, don't be bound down by flesh and blood. Like, fuck, that is such a fucking anchor. Is flesh and blood is heavy, and it's not even real. Like, it's real because we think it's real. That's the only thing that's real about it, is because we see what we think we're supposed to see. Just like what the Truman Show thing, when Ed Harris says, you tell them whatever, reality becomes whatever you tell somebody it is. And so, but we have to start seeing, like, it's important to realize you're not this. You are what's inside. You're the energy. You're the power. You're the life. And then once we get into this understanding who we are, what we are, and, that we can heal ourselves. We don't need energy from other things, other animals for sure. But my stomach's growling. The parasites disagree. They're like, fuck, you better feed us. That's my battle with the parasites. But what was that? Because I had seen, I guess the parasites are really bad around full moon. I think I've already said that, but it was something else. I just keep seeing those just strange videos where it just feels so like weird, like this weird, redundant kind of like everything is like it's spinning so fast, but it's about to drop or go the other way or something. Something significant is going to happen to, get people to see. Like all this disclosure happening still is not, it's like a slow impact. It's like impacting people as it goes. But there's still a huge group of people who aren't seeing, that don't know. Like I could go ask my kid, they would have no idea about any of this shit going on. And I don't think that they know, what Joe's doing. And they probably have heard, Trump was arrested. Like, that's why they use Trump like that. Because it gets so much attention. Every fucking thing he does. If he blows his nose, oh my God, can you believe it? He should have used a bigger tissue. I can't even believe how that guy, his nose, it makes so much noise, like every fucking thing. Oh, and his big orange nose, that big old face, that hair, that fucking, his butt. It's like, it's nonstop, just ridiculing the poor guy. It's like, fuck, God, I could not pay the part of Trump. Like, that guy has got, he's got a thick skin. He has got I don't think it is a narcissism. I'm so sick of fucking people with this, like a psychologist. Oh, I'm a psychologist and I know everything and I can spot a narcissist a mile away. It's like, okay, then why aren't you telling people how to heal their narcissism? Why are you just telling everybody how to run from the narcissist? Get away! Hurry, the narcissist is coming, run! It's like, if you're a psychologist and you're here to help people, why aren't you helping the narcissist? Get rid of their trauma and get rid of what they're holding on to. Why are you just talking about let's all isolate from each other. Let's all separate. The good people, get away from the narcissist. Well, the good people are about as toxic as you can fucking get. Like, the givers are as toxic as the takers. Like, it's not about the givers and the takers need to separate. It's about they all need to find balance in themselves. Everybody needs to find their balance. Yeah, we've all got a little narcissist in us. We've all got a little giver in us. We all got a little weak-ass bitch in us. We all have the same shit. But we all have to work on getting ourselves in our own, it's like winding the clock, setting everything, all the gears. Like, you have to do that for you. There's a balance that has to occur inside. You have to find your narcissistic. You have to find your borderline. You have to find, your weak ass bitch. You have to find your giver, you have to find all these parts of yourself. And that's what all the triggers are for. The triggers are there to help you find these parts of yourself so that you can figure out how to find balance in your life. And, that's my problem with the psychology. It is a part of the Western medicine. And the people who are trained, they're just going to point out, that's a narcissist, that's a narcissist. Okay, so we got a world full of fucking narcissists, a world full of fucking people that are in their ego and nobody there to help them. We got all these people, everybody out here who has all this trauma that they don't know how to release. And, being a narcissist is just an adaptation to your own pain. It's a way to come at it. It's a way to try and control your environment. It isn't like, even these antisocial people, there's all these people are put here for us to learn from. They're playing roles. These people who come in and do these horrible things, we learn from it. And, it's very curious, like, it is curious when there is such a darkness, there's so many souls that are in such darkness, But, that could be that thing where they're going to go into some kind of thing and try and, they can't get, they've diminished their own light and they have to go back into the pot and, they lose their identity of self and have to go back in and reform. Like, I don't know. I'd heard that before and I'm not sure, you know, uh, I just feel like I'm just here to try and help people find their light and find their balance, find their communication. It isn't about, following me and doing what I say. That would be codependent. That would be, you got to move into a space of independence where you independently think and discern and follow your own guidance and stuff. And so to me, my role is more of helping people to find themselves in the forest. Finding you is, it can be a difficult thing because so many people are so intertwined into this three-dimensional world that they created their false self. And so their false self is at battle with their real self. And the triggers are all there to, initiate the battle, but also to help you see the players so you can understand. And remember, everything is micro, macro. So think about your dark and light. You got, well, don't say that, yeah, because some people are like, no, that'd be too dark things inside of me. No, there is a dark and a light. And sometimes the light doesn't make any sense because it can seem dark because both dark and light work together. And you got to get out of your head that light is just light and dark is just dark. It is dark and light are so combined. Like, try and find your balance in yourself in the dark and light, accept your darkness. And, that is accepting your darkness, but also, to find balance. Like, you got to have the dark side. You got to have the masculine side. You got to have the protector inside of you. You got to have somebody in there who is, the strong one. The feminine side of you is the nice side that will be taken advantage of. There's not a lot of masculine, I'm talking about masculine. I'm not talking about men in general, because there's a lot of men in general who have the more out of balance in their feminine side. And I'm not talking about just flamboyant men. That is a presentation. I'm talking about their ability to set their boundaries and stand up for themselves, or to just be give, thinking that they're going to get love like that. The nice guy, Oh, we don't like those nice guys. They're just a little too nice. Well, because they're a little strong in the feminine side of themselves. Maybe they had all sisters or whatever. Everybody's got their own stories, their own ways that they got out of balance, but everybody's out of fucking balance. And, if you weren't out of balance, that would just be creepy. Like, how do you come out of this world and not find, you got some shit to work on? And so but that masculine side, the protector, when you find men who are in their masculine, some too far in their masculine and need to get some feminine in there because they're too deep in. But it is that, they're not gonna let anybody mess with them. Ain't nobody gonna fucking tell them shit. And so, and then a lot have, the toxicity of anger and no patience and a hair trigger. And then, that's for them to work on, to establish, control over their minds, over themselves, over their emotions. It's always walking yourself through things, thinking, taking time, not being reactive. But, everybody has these sides. You have this nurturing giver who just wants to love and give and care, that's been taken advantage of so much in life that you become a protector of it, or you hide that side of yourself. And a lot of women who went through trauma, disregarded their feminine side and went more into their masculine side because they felt like they had to protect themselves all the time. I went into my feminine and then got taken because I was always like helpless. Oh, helpless, helpless. Oh, somebody save me, you know. And but then I learned, ain't nobody gonna save me. I gotta save myself. If somebody's trying to save me, they have ulterior motives. I've got to save myself because I don't have ulterior motives other than saving myself. And so that's the importance of finding your balance. So you have that inside of you to protect you, to watch over you, to stand up to people, to say, hey, that's not my problem. I'm sorry you're going through this, but it's not my problem. And it's, getting me down, so I can't talk about it. And, because as the feminine side of you wants to go in and rescue and help and save the world. And, but the masculine side of you is like, fuck you, it's your problem. Get the fuck away from me. And so it's finding that balance where you can feel good about yourself. There's no set thing. Like we all have to do this and then we'll feel good. No, you have to figure out where you feel good. And it can change all the time. You can be, one day you can be strong in your feminine. And then you feel like, oh, well, that was a little too much because I didn't like how that turned out. Or in the masculine. And then you just readjust. You're just steering through life, just steering, keep it on track. Like go a little this way, try a little this, try a little that, and just keep on going. And don't get beat down, And, you're going to find yourself in a place where you feel better. Because just the whole thing of everything that they've been working on us is all things that just make you feel bad, make you feel like shit about yourself, make you doubt yourself, make you hate yourself. The whole thing with making us all compare ourselves look-wise, like just to get things on that kind of artificial, superficial thing. Like it should have never had anything to do with anything, what anybody looks like what somebody looks like, what somebody's body's like, none of it. It is all the expression of self that is there to be worked out. And you can express in different ways all the time. This isn't just who you are. You're here as that being, as that expression to work out whatever you're here to work out. And so don't, they just... And then they had to set the standard of what was beauty. And don't forget how it was always changing. It changed. When I was younger, it was Twiggy, super, super skinny. Then it was Goldie Hawn, these super skinny girls, short hair, big lashes. And then there was the Raquel Welch, super, super curvy. And then, they've gone through this. They just keep doing it. It's not like they're like, oh, well, that's just so toxic. We'll never do that again. Well, and here we come with what's her name? That this was during the heroin era of what I was talking about yesterday, where we all started dressing like we were all street homeless people. And the model, and she wasn't even tall. Can't remember her name. It was like, fuck, we heard that name about a zillion times. It's like they never stopped saying that name. It was like nonstop. Like everybody, I swear to God, everybody had to know who that girl was back then. And she was so small and so skinny. And they even said she started this whole thing with eating disorders and all this anorexia and stuff. They fucking do all this shit so on purpose. So fucking ridiculous how they do this shit. And then Kim comes in. Let's pull out the large model of Kim and make her, let's go curvy. And then all these girls all start gaining weight to get those big butts. It's like all these girls want these big butts. And so they all start gaining all this weight. And what was that? Because they start gaining weight. look what it does too for self-esteem goes down. Fucking all the clothes sales, all that, like, it's those clothes sales keep all the traffic situation in line. Oh, the fucking harvest as well, yeah. All this money that we're always dumping into this image of ourselves, like, well, I want to look like that. My life would be happy if I look like that. It's like, that won't make your life happy. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of girls now who are just like, there's girls who went and got butt cheek implants, all sorts of shit. All these people keep going in and changing all this stuff on their faces and their bodies. And they act like there's not another, like a dark side to it. Like, these fucking implants, I know I bitch about them a lot, but I really can't wait till I get in that med bed and get these out. I wish I had a strong enough mind to just dissolve them. I wish I could just sit here, dissolve. Oh, I don't really have them. I try and do that. I try and be like, oh, I'm just back to my old self. They're not in there anymore and all that stuff. But they're wonky, man. They're fucking wonky. I swear to God. This one always falls to the side. It's like my body was not built for these things. My body was built the way it was built, not for this business, hook on a Mack truck to my body. And my body's like, fuck, dude, it's a little much. It's like, shut up. They look good. It's like, I've always thought they were uncomfortable. And it's so crazy because girls go and do that and they think, oh, all the guys will think they look so good. No, that's not how it goes. You have some guys, oh, they should have been bigger. You should get them much bigger. You should go get some bigger ones. The guys, oh, gross. Why'd you do that? They're so gross. It's not once that thing. The whole thing is getting to a place of peace in yourself, with yourself, loving your own, accepting yourself. And, going and trying to please others is impossible. You can't. You got to please yourself. And, don't, when I was taught, this was one of the things too, when I was at my mom's, I think that's what got it going. I don't remember all the conversations because, like I said, it's like I'm in this whole other space bubble and I leave it and it's like weird. It's like you leave it and it's like, I don't even know. But being present in the moment is important because once you leave it, it's gone. And, but she had said something. I said something. I don't remember what it was. And she goes, oh, well, that's what it says in the Bible. It says there was going to be people like you saying this stuff, saying these things. And, they were going to be tricked. All the Christians were going to be tricked by these demon people like me that were going to come and say, like, that you have the God is inside of you. Like, that is dangerous. Like, you got to have the God is out there. You got to give him respect or you're going to go to hell. Okay, Mom, but that's not fear, is it? That's the Catholics. They're the ones who fear God. Not me, not the Christians. We don't fear God. We love him. It's like, okay. Let's see how this plays out. Let's just see. And I don't mean it as, a ha-ha. I mean, it's going to be rough. I really don't know how she's going to get through it. There's a lot of people. I don't know how they're going to get through the religion falling apart because it's so much, just like if I was the one who had to find out I was wrong about spirituality and there's really this guy up in the sky who's waiting, with his lightning bolt, he's ready to just pound it through my head. He's so sick of me and my fucking talking. Maybe so. It would be very hard for me to come to terms with that. So, the people who believe that there's a guy up in the sky who's watching them and counting the days till, then that would be hard for them to let go of that program. And so it's going to be difficult. I think religion is going to be very, very difficult. I think we're going to see a lot of pain happen. And it's already, the stuff's already going about religion. Like, it's already out there. There's already everything falling apart. The conversations are going, the arguments. And, that's why my mom was like, I knew it said people like you would come and your evil talk. Your evil talk of being independent, being sovereign, and loving your soul, and loving the soul, loving life through your soul. Like, appreciate things, like appreciate sex and weed. It's from God. Like, but that's that Victorian kind of, like, there's a lot of old people like, oh, weed, oh, drug addicts, and sexual perverts. You don't need sex. It's like, boy, there's a lot of things that you're not enjoying that are right here for you in life. I wonder what that is all about. You think that God put things there for you to enjoy, but don't want you to enjoy them? It's all about balance. It's not about like, yeah, we'll go enjoy. Like, if you want to go and enjoy just empty sex with tons of people, well, there's a repercussion. You'll probably end up, I guess there's a giant syphilis outbreak at this point. And we already know that it had the AIDS in it. So there's a lot of reasons not to be out sleeping around. Like, I wouldn't be out sleeping around. Like, people have got all sorts of shit inside them. Fuck that. I've got one person, and that's my person. And it's so weird. I was thinking about this yesterday because I was thinking how, a long time ago, they'd be like, you have one person out there in the world. And I was like, one person. But then I got married a bunch of times. And I had lessons with all these people. And every single time I met one of these people, it was like, I thought this was it. This is my person. This is my soulmate. There would be certain things, certain magical things that would happen. And so then I end up with this person, and it's not, this magical, loving relationship. It's hard. It's fucked. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say I was abused, because each person I was with felt just as abused as I did. These toxic, low vibration relationships are there to teach you. But it's funny because I do feel like there is one person who is the match. Once you go through the stuff and you heal and you let it go and you grow, then you do have one person who I think is your match. I don't think that you have a whole bunch. I think you have other people in your vibration. But you think about how a cell splits, and a cell, remember how a cell splits. Remember how a cell has two. You have both inside of you, and then it splits into two. So you have two with two inside of you. That is your closest match. And so that, I think, back in the day where we used to be like, oh, you have one soulmate out there, but you have tons of soulmates, but you have one match once you get yourself into that healed place. The goal to me is working and getting to your best so that you can meet up with your match who is at their best. So then you can go and have this other kind of existence, a true companion, a true partnership, not an opponent, not a rival, like how so many relationships were in that toxic world that we used to exist in. But in the new one that we're headed to, the relationships will be, a lot more about balance. It's not going to be like one person pulling on another's energy. Each person is going to be far more balanced in themselves. They're not going to be toxic, needy, and stuff to the other person, and not going to be demanding. And it's going to be so much more loving and caring. And so I just is like, we do have really one match when you think of it on that level. And that's, I have no desire to go out and try anything else out. I'm just waiting for that occurrence. When it's like that game. I used to love that game, Concentration, where you had to turn over all the cards. But yeah, it's when all of a sudden those two cards, your match and you, are all of a sudden there. And so, we'll see how it plays out. I think that it is already in the process of playing out. And so we'll see. Like, it shouldn't be that long. And you guys have been with me this far, so we'll see. And I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you, you know, my truth is coming. All of us have our truth coming. And the truth will set you free. The truth will let us know, you know, who we are, what we're doing here. Who are we here to meet up with? What are we here to do? That is what's coming. You know, it's going to play out. And if it's taking, a while, just remember, just keep working on you. That's what you're really there to do. It isn't like, well, that is the goal. No, the goal is you. The goal isn't anything but you. And once you really figure out that you're the goal, then, you become the prize for another. It's not like you're looking for something. You become the prize for another. Don't get caught up in, like I just want that person, so I'm just going to do whatever to get that person. No, you got to be, that is the after thing. The whole thing is you finding you, and it will automatically pull you towards your next person. It's not where you have to go and I don't know. I just see these girls, and they got the trigger. They saw their person. They know who their person is. And then everything is about just, how do I get them? How do I get them? And they never get to the point of just working on themselves and not worrying about that. And just getting to that place, well, if that's meant to happen, it's going to happen. I don't have to do anything. I just got to work on me. And that's been my guidance. And so, that's what I will, say is to do. But your guidance could be different. Everybody's got a different thing playing out, but that's why it's important to get to your guidance, to work on that. And that is a good thing to do in a daily kind of routine. Practice your, this fucking burping. It has to do with that barometer thing or whatever the fuck, I swear to God. And I know that there's something weird about the pressure here too. So, anyways, just, work on you and your communication. And, even if it's just trying to take notice of all the different voices in your head. And but to me, the best thing to do is start talking to them. Start talking to the voices in your head. Start asking questions. And start noticing, who you are in your head, who the other voices are in your head, and where your ego is, because your ego is a big one, but your attachments in your ego, and those ones, to me, are the loudest. You got to, start recognizing those ones so that you can get to the ones that are more quiet, the ones that you got to get your mind silenced so you can listen, the whisperer, the overall, like, your higher self will communicate boldly, like no man will go. The boldly, I don't think that's the right quote, but still, it's a bold communication. They will, because it's an overall feeling. And but the other communication, like, I've said, it's a whispering. It is way quieter than the loudness. That's why you got to get through the loudness. You got to keep going towards the back of the room. Work your way through to the back of the room, because the back of the room is where the smart ones are. That's where the ones who you want to talk to. The ones up here, that's just a bunch of nonsense to try and keep you feeling good, really. Keep you feeling good or feeling bad. Depends on how you're to do in your inner. It depends, each person. But yeah, that's what, until you tame the beast, and you're going to keep feeling bad because they're going to keep telling you reasons to feel bad. Or they're going to keep you feeling isolated because nobody's good enough for you, or you're not good enough for everybody else. You got to get past that messaging. You got to override it. You got to start thinking things through, being logical, connecting with your spirit, and noticing the energy. Is it trying to make you feel bad? Is it trying to make you feel good? Is it I think a lot of it is just a false sense of ego. The attachments, they'll tell you, to kind of do shitty things, to say shitty things. And sometimes you may do it and you may think like you did the right thing, and then you like feel like shit because you did or said something. And then that's for you to notice, to witnessing yourself, to be aware of, so that you can decipher, where do you really want to be? How do you really want to be perceived? How do you really want to put yourself out there in the world? And so it's all about this learning. There is no fucking, like, you got to hurry, you got to be this way by a certain time. No, it is just directing your energy towards that. Releasing your baggage is moving you towards the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is just up ahead. And the age of Aquarius is a completely different age. It's all about love and acceptance, like I've said. And so all of the things from this one you've got to release as you're heading for that one. And so it isn't like you have exactly 35 minutes left to get that done. It's not like that. Even if you are working towards it and you're already in that energy, just because you haven't healed everything doesn't mean you wouldn't be there. If you're in that energy of healing and releasing, loving, forgiving, and all of that acceptance, then you're already headed for that. It's just you're working out, getting ready for the marathon. And during this period of time that we're about to acclimate into is going to be a lot of trauma for a lot of people. And then there's going to be a lot of good things happening for other people, because it's how the energy, there was people who were already directing their energy. And so those good things are going to start coming. And then the other people who were directing their energy in another. And then those things are going to start playing out. But there's going to be a lot of that is going to be like the dark night. A lot of people directing their energy towards this fake, false world. You can see them all around us. The people who are completely misguided. And so they're directing their energy, and that energy is going to come back on them, and they're going to have to face themselves, face the dark night or whatever. So, but at the same time, there's going to be like really good things happening for other people, because they've been directing their energy towards what is good for them. So there's going to be a lot going on, and there's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of anger, a lot of people who are just scared of what's happening, a lot of people who they're so caught up in the doctrine of religion that, they do think it's Armageddon. They do think it's the end. And, a lot of people are going to just go take out their whole family with them. There's going to be a lot of shit, a lot of crazy shit that's going to go on through this. It's like the last part, to get us in there. But it's going to be super dramatic. And it's just crazy how it's led up to it. And, I can't imagine it just being like nothing. Like, for the money to crash, for the medical to be exposed, for the guy, all that stuff. And it for just to be like, oh yeah, it's just another day. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be very dramatic. And it's going to be very intense. And then on one hand, we're going to have all these people having really good things happening for them. And, you're going to have to be in a place of knowing you deserve it, being in receiving, knowing you deserve what is coming your way because you've been directing the energy. And that, to me, is a role model. What the other people will begin to adapt when they see the good things. They'll have to go through their crises. they'll have to go through their dark night and whatever they have to face. But when they start recognizing, oh, these people went through it and look at now how good they're doing. So I can do that too. I can get better. I can feel better. That's the thing. Like, I'm sitting there, like, get away from the narcissist. There's a lot of fucking people who have narcissistic disorder diagnosis. And then you're just making them like lepers, which, by the way, in Florida, now we've got lepers. So, this place, it's just like everything is happening. So, but, it's all a show. It's all a big old fucking show. And remember who you are. You're the light inside of you. You're real. The rest of this shit isn't. And so, don't get too caught up. Play your part, but don't get down. Remember you're in a game. Remember, none of this stuff exists if the atoms go faster. And that's what we're going through. The atoms are going faster and things are showing themselves to not be real, showing themselves to be fake, because we're in a fake ass world. And it was us who believed it was real. So silly. It's really silly when you think about it. Okay, so anyways, I probably tomorrow, and the next day, I probably am not going to record anything, but there's all sorts of videos you can watch. But then when I get back Sunday, once I get back in and I get, stuff out of my car and whatnot, I will probably take a shower and then I'll record. So sometimes Sunday, I'll record and post. Unless everything is shut down, like, fuck, all the goddamn internet. I saw somebody yesterday saying, the EBS is going off tomorrow. It's going, all these people talking about the EBS and saying that they've already been practicing it everywhere and it's about to go down. And that's going to be this, when, all this shit starts changing. And, oh, yeah, because the Frazzle got re-released. So it's out there on the dark web, and so you can access it. People who have seen it, I've just heard some, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see this stuff. It gets in my head. I don't want to see people, I don't want to see torture. I don't want to see pain. I don't want to see fucking murder. It's just fuck, man. But it's out there. And, but that's where a lot of people were like, oh, they're going to take the web down for sure now. HRC's been gone a while. Like, this fake ass lady who's playing her, I don't know. She may care. She may not. She may be a clone. She may not. She could be a fucking CGI. She could be a robot. Who the fuck knows in this world? This is so fake. So, anyways, there were a bunch of people saying it was going to go down. And then the money thing, like, that's just, woo. And the whole government, like, it's just, seriously, like, even last year, I would have been like, Kelly, you are so fucking crazy. Do not go camping. But it's like, something happened in there, just like, you got to get into this flow. Like, if you get invited to things, it's like that movie, Yes Man. It's like, you can't be a no person. You got to be in for the experience. I wasn't having, a bunch of invites and stuff. But once I start getting them, and then plus I set that intention. It's like, I'm going to get out this summer. I am going to go. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go out. I'm going to get on the road. I'm going to travel, and I'm going to help people. Here I am out there doing it. And so, I mean, there's a part of me who feels like I'm completely insane to go do that this weekend. It's like, I'm kind of like, but I've also got to be like, nothing can happen. I'm going to be exactly where I'm supposed to be. Nothing can happen that will hurt me. It doesn't fucking matter if they blow this goddamn planet up. I'll just go to another one. Nothing matters. And, oh yeah. And then that stupid ass shit. Yeah. Where they're saying like, oh, well, we've got UFOs and they're going over the nuclear plants and turning things on and shit. If anything, they'd be turning them off. You lying sacks of shit. They're setting us up for an EMP or something, because no, they will not let the nukes go. So, and for the government to be saying that alien ships are going over these places and turning them on and shit, yeah, It's just because they want to strike us and then blame it on somebody else, just like fucking they did with the towers, just like they always fucking do. Somebody else did it, not us. We love you. We're here to help and save you. Give us your money. It's like, fuck off with this shit. I'm so fucking sick of it. And then we all just, oh, go to work, give them money, give them money. It's like, fuck off. So anyways, I'm just going to get going. I got a lot of cooking to do, and I've got to get this downloaded. It's going to take me until I go. So that's why I was like, I got to do this because I still got to go in and take a shower and get cleaned up. So I feel like a dirty, sweaty mess sitting here. So I'm just getting started, but it's going to take all the time that I'm here getting ready to download. So I'm going to get on top of that, and you guys have a good weekend. And if shit goes down, just remember, nothing can hurt us. Nothing can hurt us. You know, and wherever you are and shit goes down, you are playing a role. So you are getting to see. Maybe you're going to, you know, save somebody's life. Maybe you're going to do something exceptional. So don't fear, like, if some horrible thing goes down around you, don't think like, oh, well, this is it. I'm going to die. I'm just going to die. You know, all of Kentucky's on fire or something. You just, you know, and really, really communicate with your guides and stuff. And I swear to God, the best way is just keep asking questions inside your mind. You can talk out loud. You can talk in your mind however you want to do it. Just keep asking questions and then listen for the answers. Really listen. Don't listen. Okay, got that one. Oh, because I'm telling you, there's a lot. There's a lot. You'll get a lot of answers. You'll get a lot of voices, a lot of talking. There's a lot of beings that are trying to help you to see things. And, you know, some will talk where you will understand exactly what they're saying. It will just make sense. Even if it's a bunch of words you don't understand, everything will just make sense. It's just the magic of the supernatural world, the one that is real, our real world. So connect with that, connect with you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.